I was terrified.
I want to line the pieces up. Yours and mine.
I was having crazy thoughts, and I realized my biggest fear with competing is that I have competitors' anxiety. You might be wondering what that pretty much is, but it's like everything around me just collapses. It's like claustrophobia. But like for like playing a video game, it's so weird to me.
So I'm about to walk to my room.
Let's go back to December 2021. I was coming up with probably one of the worst years of my life, you know, after the pandemic, or it's still going on, but y'all know what I mean. In that year's time, I lost a lot of family members, a lot of people I looked up to, a lot of inspiration. And I went to CEO Gaming 2021 just to compete for the fun of it, you know, just to hang out with my homies. But I realized it affected my life more than it ever has. Back in my mind, I was like, hey, this wasn't my purpose of coming on this trip. I just did it just to, you know, support the scene or just play. And even when I felt like that fire is gone, the flame was burning out, another player saved me. Shout out to Anya Tekken. She put out the most life-changing quote, something so small that just changed my mindset and just took a whole bunch of weight off my shoulders. I don't get stressed when competing. I was very happy because I knew we were putting on a good show. As competitors, we are entertainers first and foremost. And yeah, I realize we all want to do good in tournaments and just in life in general. But if I ain't having fun, what was the purpose in the first place? I really do thank you, Anya. This is something I've been dealing with for like a year, 2-3 years now. So I really do love you. I appreciate you a lot. Not to break the immersion, but can you please hit the subscribe button? We are right there at 20,000 subscribers. So thank you. But what I was not thankful for was my brain at Evo. I had to figure out, was it me being afraid of competing in general? Is it the thought of competing and not doing so well holding me back as a player? I say this a lot jokingly, but I actually never really meant it till I did Evo. We don't take L's, we take lessons. The truth about losing is you have to have a mentality. You have to go into a match with a game plan and then figure out what you were doing wrong with your game plan versus your opponent and said match up. That is the first huge step to acknowledging why you're losing a lot, not only in life, not only in video games, but right now, more importantly, in Street Fighter 6. So my goal at this point after the first game of my tournament is just not go 0-2 in the biggest Street Fighter tournament of all time. I think I've conquered a huge fear, and I'm ready enough after a week later to actually look at my tournament matches. So that's what we finna do right now. Shout out to Pink Garatina for recording these. It was such a last minute notice because we couldn't bring tripods into the Evo room, and I would have had it set up, but we couldn't do that. So, not mistaken, I'm the person that's always going to do a button check, even if the game does have its own input register reader, because I want to make sure what I'm seeing on screen is what I'm doing as well. Like, if I hit a certain button, I'm like, hey, that's not the button, and it happens in the match, I don't want to say, restart, that's not the right button. I'd rather just see it first. I'm perfectly fine with making sure everything's fine. So yeah, this dude asked me if it was the first of two. I was like terrified. Like, so right here, cans are weird to me. I found them the most random players in Street Fighter 6. That was a really good scenario, but my habit right there came out where I keep using heavy instead of just using light or medium just when I catch stuff. It's a bad habit I have with Cammy. I get what he's doing, and I'm not anti-airing the empty jumps, and it's pissing me off. Like, oh my god. See, there we go. I keep doing heavy again. I'm nervous. I'm like, okay. All right, not to make any Johns or excuses. I could not sleep the night before my bracket, not feeling stressed, because at the end of the day, it's a video game. You should have fun, right? But at the same time, you want to do well. You don't want to just come out there and just be trash, you know? What's the point of showing off or being cool or being an entertainer if you ain't good at entertaining what you're supposed to be doing? You know, if that made sense to y'all. I'm like, okay, yep. Now I'm getting the little jabs. I'm like, okay. Didn't get to confirm. Didn't get to confirm right there. I don't want to make it sound like I'm Johning or anything or making excuses, but it did feel like the setups was a little bit laggy. Again, that's on my fault. I should have practiced way more, but it was hard to get casuals at Evo, and with 7,000 people, I guarantee there was barely like 10% of people that probably got actual casual time to play the games. Now that jump was pretty good, but pretty scary, because if he was on it, I would have got DP'd. And me not anti-airing again is not helping me in this situation. I'm like, okay, this time I'm just taking it slow. See how the kid just randomly just dashed and just overhead? I was like, what is he doing? Now, mind y'all, I've told y'all multiple times in videos, Cammy is a character that is different for me. I'm not usually a rushdown player. A character in this game I would be playing 9 out of 10 would most likely be... Look at that drive impact. You ain't drive impact there, me. But the character I usually would just play would be something like JP. I love zoners. First zoner I fell in love with was Morgan in Marvel 3. Was I good at her? But I just like seeing people getting stuff thrown at them and then they gotta figure it out like a maze. So he got me in the corner. I want him to drive impact, but I'm gonna either level 1 because I'm using the advantages of modern and I missed. I'm like, alright, Dragon Lash. I'm like, okay. Alright. He keep hitting me with some simple straight stuff and me missing the anti-air. I'm just not reacted to it, like right there. Like I'm just scared to do it. I guess my nerves is just not letting me cook the way I want to cook. Now it's 10 seconds left, and I struggle with that in fighting games sometimes. If time goes down like this, I don't think I've ever had a match ever like this, but maybe the night before where time went down. He took it slow, cause one hit I could have probably evened it up, and that's why I talk about like losing when it matters, right? And this is a learning experience for me because the stuff I be doing in game versus people versus the stuff I play versus others, like I tried to do the medium combo. That's why I don't use the medium auto combo, by the way. See, nice spinning knuckle right there. He knows to react to that. Back up, spinning knuckle. I like the parry into it because he probably was waiting on it. He tried to get the perfect parry. I got the bussin'. Alright, I'll take the burnout because he's near burnout. I'm upset that caught me. That pissed me off. That right there, that one interaction of that freaking level 1, that irritated me so much. I was like, damn, I jumped so early. I've gotten hit with the sweeps more than Stephen Curry can hit threes in the finals. Like, so right here, we pretty even. I keep not blocking my toes. He gets free damage. He doesn't know the full combos off of it though. Even with the amount of meter, I'm like, okay. Didn't get the move I needed. Now I'm terrified because now I got 3 bars of meter. I'm like, all right, let me throw him in the corner. Yes, sir. I'm like, all right, combo video. Let me get this damage. Okay, let me see. Back up. No DP. I wanted him to DP, but he knew he wasn't gonna go for it because if he missed it, it would have been over. Now this is the biggest part of the whole tournament. So we both like in the same deficit. I'm like, all right, here's our chance. I'm like, I'm waiting till my drive gate come up, but I want him to throw Hadouken. He's not gonna throw it because he know I'm gonna use the level 3. And I literally did fucking level 3, driver's level 3, and it did not come out. And that's the end of that. But I think the biggest lesson from today's video, or me venting this out to y'all, the community, Yaya Nation, bro, venting out to everybody, that in life sometimes you gotta just not take things too seriously. You know, it ain't that deep all the time. I mean, when you want it to win and you want something to work out for you really well, yeah, it's gonna be that deep. Put in the work, put in the grind. But when it starts taking away your enjoyment or the soul away out of things, you gotta layer back a little bit. And I think that's the most important thing, right? We all get frustrated when we lose in games, and we all get frustrated when things don't go our way in games. But I think it's very important for us to understand that we are our own worst critic, and a lot of the things we go through, we have to figure out through ourselves. You know, that's pretty much it. You still suck at Street Fighter because you suck at the game, not the game itself.
never felt